So, Rajiv, in continuation to the earlier question around IoT, another thing that is playing on my mind is how is AI and VR related to real estate? What role are they playing in the real estate?
In fact, this words AI, which is artificial intelligence,
Absolutely.
and virtual reality, they're very scary words in real estate
Okay.
because that's how people lost money. They saw
Okay.
artificial projects and saw virtual projects,
Absolutely.
and they lost faith and they lost money. We won't talk about who are the players here, but these words in the context of technology are extremely important. Why? Because when I talk about AI,
Yeah.
how do I apply AI in my project? Now, basically, AI can be even start. Basically, it starts from how my project is planned.
Absolutely.
If you know, when we do profiling of customers, in
Yes.
marketing, we have sync and dink. If you know, sync is
Mhm.
single income, no kids.
Okay.
And dinks are double income, no kids. And there
Okay.
are people like us who are called silk, single income, lot of kids.
All right.
Now, if you have these services and amenities based on this profiling, which is through the intelligence of data which you have created or which you got when you do the profiling or the user profiling. Now, the advantage of this is for a builder, if I have this profiling done prior to deciding the amenities.
Right.
Many times our projects sell off plan. Okay, amenities are not decided really in the beginning, and so builder can build. For example, if I am doing a housing for old citizens, say we have old age housing projects,
Absolutely.
it won't have amenities like swimming pools or football grounds because the
Right.
user is not like that. So my intelligence in terms of the market intelligence or intelligence through the AI based systems of user profiling will tell me that they are senior people, they need a temple or a place to worship, they need a yoga garden, they don't need football ground, they will instead need a doctor on call, they will need a cook on call, they will need an ambulance service. Okay, that type of, that's a very, very basic AI. Then AI modeling can also be done in terms of making homes secure. Okay, so it can be linked to again IoT. Where what is the time you come in? What is the time your maid servant comes in? Many of us who are working have maid servants coming in on a time frame which nobody is in the home. I'll give an example how we use this profiling to have an intelligent answer to how we conceive a project.
Okay.
We were doing a project in the city of Pune at one time long back. We asked people a question that how active are your kids on the ground? Okay, because see, it's linked to we have a lot of norms when you come to real estate. It's linked to open spaces. We have to
Right.
leave around 40% area depending on which part of the country you are in for open spaces as per the law. Now, we can't have the footprint of building more than 50% in some locations. So what to do with the open space? Then you have to provide parking, you have to provide amenities. So with the profiling of the people and the choices, we ran a sort of a system within our marketing teams, and we ran an intelligent sort of option creation that what is that which will drive the person to buy project based on this profile of people, the location where the project is there. And we found out the most sought after amenity which these people would like to come and have in the project, which will help them to buy your property, was a cricket ground.
Interesting.
But with a net facility. But they don't want to
Right.
run around too much. They want to
Right.
have, so we call it box cricket.
Right.
Okay, so based on our assessment of the user profiling, probably that was at a very initial stage of AI probably, but today it can be done through direct profiling. Now VR plays a very important role because when you have a building coming up on a 2D scale, when you show the drawing, the person does not know how the building will look like.
Right.
And within the building where my apartment will be. So we are
Right.
using VR model through a concept called BIM, Building Information Modeling.
Okay.
In fact, we are setting up a center in India, especially in Noida, for 5D modeling in association with a lot of corporates in India, who are big corporates, and with some universities in the UK. So idea is that I can give you a walkthrough of your project without even building 1 square feet of that.
Okay.
And you would know exactly in a geotag situation where your apartment is, you can stand on the balcony in a VR situation, have a view from outside the balcony exactly.
Excellent.
Yeah, you can choose, you can have Vastu compliant built in there. If you want to have obviously that will have a boomerang where every flat cannot be 100% Vastu compliant, but yes, the openings, the main apartment, main doors or whatever can be, and if somebody is too much on Vastu, so we can have him, we can obviously align some flats typically for that reason. Other aspect is when you have virtual reality, you can also track construction. So when you have a planned approach for a project that will take 3 years, and you have a virtual model, and you have a model which is actually the construction which is happening on the site is replicating that model, so you can see where you should have been and where you are. That is BIM, BIM 5D modeling. So you would know in a real term that my building should have been here, but it is here. So there's a delay. And now it's necessary because we have RERA in place, Railways Regulation Authority. RERA also defines that the project has to be done in time. They have to be done in a way, promised duration has to be delivered to the customer,
Right.
and with the promised specifications, promised amenities. So RERA will also now force you to use virtual modeling.
Is that
it will in the future, and
Okay.
it should, because RERA ultimately is for customer satisfaction. The customer has to be benefited. So while RERA does not really play a watchdog, but it play a promoter of real estate in the country, which is actually the real role of RERA. And with these intelligent-based, virtual reality-based inputs, with the inputs coming from the site, real inputs which can automatically be modeled to a information dashboard, whether this project is going right, whether it's being done the right way. Even from the contractor's perspective, if I have to monitor a project, so a virtual reality model for me will be a benchmark. And most importantly, what happens if you have seen construction, there's always a fight between architect, the structure designer, and the MEP consultants. Okay?
Yes.
So the structure designer comes in the way of MEP consultant. They make beams and columns where my MEP doesn't go. Architect is worried about the facade and the aesthetics, where the structure and the MEP doesn't go. So virtual model will integrate all of these.
Will integrate all of them.
elements.
Absolutely.
And although fights are exciting on site, but this won't allow any fights to happen.
Sure.
And it will have enough efficiency, and you will really see. In fact, I know about UK a lot because I've been working there on BIM projects. There are standards on BIM in UK which India has nothing so far.
Okay.
We have a new ISO called ISO 19650, which is the ISO on BIM which is floated in India. We still are not able to follow it because we are nascent in
Still
BIM.
formalizing it.
But BIM is the future. All government projects in the UK have to necessarily be on BIM.
And BIM uses AR extensively.
BIM uses AR extensively. See, BIM is an environment.
Right.
There are a lot of softwares, I don't know name them, but there are softwares which are basically for 2D modeling, 3D modeling, virtual modeling, and the scheduling part of it.
Okay.
So when I say 5D modeling, it is the basically dimension is L into B into D. 4D is cost, 5D is time.
Okay.
So it's a 5D. So I integrate all these 5 together and have a virtual model. And sitting at my home, if I am a buyer, I know from a virtual model where the building was supposed to be and where it is. Normally today I get progress photographs from the builders and your
Right.
progress is, but I don't know what was planned. So I only know what is built.
So are these buildings geotagged? Is geotagging possible with it? So I could know this is my house under construction, and are the real estate guys buckling themselves up to share AR model progress?
See, they are not geotagged only; they are even time tagged. That's
Oh,
one.
excellent.
Secondly, it may not be everybody's happiness to show you the model, but RERA will demand it now. So transparency is the key there.
Okay.
And when transparency comes, corruption automatically
Reduces
down, efficiency increases.
Absolutely.
Even suggestions to a constructor one can give as a user,
Absolutely.
a consumer, that what can be done to make it better.
Absolutely.
Okay. In fact, we did one project wherein in the city of Pune, when the government banned use of wood in projects. So when we went to the consumer that we have two options: either use a steel door frame or use a precast concrete door frame, which looks like wood, which is more efficient. Wood, steel again is a virgin material. So they said, no, we want concrete door frame which looks like wood. And it was costing half of the door frame or half of the steel frame. And we passed on the money to the consumer at the end. So real estate industry is one, I think, like manufacturing also. There is no input of the customer there. Whatever we offer
is what you have to
probably
buy.
this would enable a customer to give his view about specifications.
as the project progresses.
Progresses. He doesn't want a tiled floor, which normally many of us don't want a tile, so I want to put marble. So obviously he can say there's a new material which is more eco-friendly, but you try this. Even some of the consumers are even vendors. They are manufacturing new materials, so they can also suggest that why don't you use this? Of course, the durability quality has to be intact. So I think virtual modeling is good for everybody because we can now see what we are buying. Earlier we are buying and then seeing
what we get in.
So probably we can see beforehand what you're buying, and it's a great thing to happen. In fact, an irony was that you buy a TV which is of 50,000 rupees and you get 5-year warranty, and you buy a real estate of 5 crore rupees, you have no warranty.
No warranty.
And you don't know how it looks like after it's built. So I think VR is the answer to that question.
Very interesting. Very interesting, and I think that brings in a lot of confidence in the buyers who are sitting on the edge trying to think whether they should buy a property or not. It's a very welcoming step. So I think we thank you for these very vital inputs, because it's going to help a lot of our viewers as to where we are and where we are heading to with respect to AI and VR technologies, as part of the overall digital framework in the real estate. Thank you so much, Mr. Rajiv Nehru.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you.